If you're alive, your cells are whispering to each other electromagnetically, and that's what keeps your body functioning. And we're aware of this because of when you have a heart issue, they'll take an EKG and read the signaling from your heart, and that will tell a doctor whether your heart is healthy. Or an EEG for your brain electroencephalogram, whether things with epilepsy and other kinds of medical problems with your brain. Or that's also how we determine if someone is still alive. If you're brain dead, there will be no signaling on the electrocardiogram. Or if your heart has stopped, there will be no electrical signaling coming from the electrocardiogram. Your cells keep your body alive because this conversation is going on interiorly with your cells. If when that signaling stops, you're dead. Either your heart's gone or your brain's gone. The question is, in the environment that has come to be with all the wireless devices, are there aspects of those signals that can influence your internal communication? And if you're a biological scientist, you come from the life sciences, we recognize, yes, life happens because there are electrochemical signals between cells that keeps your physiology going, and your body is constantly trying to stay in balance. And if you're getting signaling from man-made devices coming at you that's upsetting that balance, how long can your body keep fighting to keep you in balance? And when any individuals, the body loses that battle of keeping the balance, that's when you start seeing the adverse health effects. And if you're coming from an engineering and a physics point of view, that's not what you're concerned about. You're concerned about making the device talk to the other man-made device. You're not concerned about what it communicates to a living organism. Another major concern is how much of this exposure is in the environments of infant and children. We have baby monitors, wireless baby monitors that kids are exposed to all the time. We have many parents use iPads as a way to entertain their children. It's like an electronic babysitter. There's very, very young children exposed to a lot of wireless as a matter of course these days. And the American Academy of Pediatrics has put out a couple of statements on this. They're very concerned that children's bodies absorb and react to this radiation very, very differently than an adult body does. They're more susceptible to it. Their cells are dividing faster, so that if there is a injury to the cell, it gets passed on faster, which can lead to some kind of a adverse health effect. Their bodies have more water content than adults do, and water is a factor in how this radiation interacts with your physiology. And also their skulls are much thinner than adult skulls, so the radiation can penetrate much deeper into a child's cell, especially if you've got your child with a cell phone up to its head. In 2012, Congressman Dennis Kucinich, one of the last things he did before leaving the House was to introduce the Cell Phone Right to Know Act, and what it calls for is labeling on devices, cell phones, that just what the problems are, that we don't know that they're safe for children and pregnant women, so they should avoid their use. It also asked for funding for the EPA to develop a new standard that's based on biology, not on what are the engineering requirements to make the devices work. The FCC regulations guard against interference between FCC licensees, that is television, broadcast, wireless service providers, cell phones, Wi-Fi, WiMAX. Their equipment is not supposed to interfere with somebody else's equipment who's got another antenna nearby. They want all these technologies to be able to work without being adversely affected by somebody else's infrastructure. They want everybody who's paying these license fees to be able to make money on these technologies to be able to operate optimally. But the regulations don't look at interference to medical devices, like we said, electronic medical devices, and it does not look at interference with people, animals, birds, wildlife, with your physiology, whether these transmissions and these emissions interfere with the optimal operation of, or optimal existence of living beings.